This is a documentary about dinosaurs and the man who dedicated his life to these impressive prehistoric animals. But before we get into fossils, bones, and large creatures, I want to share with you how a series of coincidences made me cross paths with our subject. My filmmaking career started at a young age. Together with my brother and a video camera, we made short films starring Lego men. This creativity excited me.
I thought the piece really showed the incredible amount of hard work and detail that has to go into making sure that they're recreating these dinosaurs in a way that's accurate and in a way that's useful to teaching and educating people about the dinosaurs. And I thought that they did a really sort of deep dive into not just the subject's life, but the process behind the excavation, the process behind how you decide what was where, and how dinosaurs could have looked and were sort of structurally built, and how that's quite complicated to pull off realistically. I think we take it for granted. You see so many films or concepts, obviously, with dinosaurs at the center, but I think the work that's being done here is a very tactile material, and I think it works well and sort of reflecting the kind of work that you have to do to manifest these ideas when you don't have the benefit of CGI and those kind of constructs. So I thought the piece was very interesting.
How awesome it is that this can be a family affair, reconstructing the past so that we can take a look at what once was in modern day. I really loved, though, even more than the excavations and historical details, the family story at the center, the passing down of a passion that might start as a hobby but becomes something deeper, and how that impacts a father and daughter's relationship, both working relationship and professional and personal. That was really my favorite aspect of this piece.
I love subjects that are a little offbeat, that are laser focused on their subjects. And it was a really wonderful and unique way to get to explore it. I thought it was also great that we got to get to know the filmmaker right from the beginning. It was so lovely to get these home videos and kind of an intimate insight into his life, and dive into his interning in filmmaking and creative pursuits through the years. It all linked together for something that felt very cohesive and visually very engaging, with creative ways of telling the story throughout and really inventive framing. And it kept up the pace so that it felt like the hour timeline really flew by.
How this documentary touches highlights and highlights certain moments in our history, like with the dinosaurs. I think what was also perfect was the narrator allowing us to engage with who he is and was growing up, and how he became a filmmaker and eventually doing this specific documentary about dinosaurs. This was a smart choice, as it makes us connect with the story even more. I love how a simple photo shoot about a dinosaur turned into an hour-long documentary about the travels and how everything started for these people. This documentary showcases plenty of footage that I haven't seen before with regards to the dinosaurs and our history. And I love that because it shows that history is still in the making, and that there are tons of information and artifacts that are still hidden and waiting to be uncovered by our generation.
To be able to just be surrounded by your passion all the time, it's kind of a dream, you know. It was like a dream watching this DINOMAN do his thing, because he's just doing what he loves, you know. And we all want to be like that. You know, I can say I've never really seen such interesting, detailed explanation of how dinosaurs are assembled. You know, you always kind of just take it for granted. When you see them in a museum, there they are put together. Somebody did that, but it was really neat to see it actually happen, and to know the struggle of it. Like what he says, the tech cost 100,000 euros to assemble a dinosaur. I'm like, well, I suppose it would. Why wouldn't it? It's a massive undertaking. It's a strange craft, it's a specialized skill, and these things are big. It takes a long time to put it together, you know. You know, and interesting seeing details like, you know, 3D printing the bones. That's fascinating, you know, but these are the problems they got to solve. I don't know many professions that can solve problems by 3D printing bones. You know, some surgical people could do that, I suppose. Anyways, this was really, really well done. The passion of the filmmaker and the passion of the subject were very well on display, and we got a real good sense of each man's journey here.
I think that the way that the filmmaker, and I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong, Jeroen, had talked about art and how he had gotten into filmmaking was just so cool and so fascinating. And then getting a chance to learn about art and about dinosaurs and about how and where they find all of these bones and how the bones are scanned in and what they do and how they put together these dinosaurs. And the fact that Art has a dinosaur park in Germany, I thought was probably the coolest thing ever. I would want to go and see it. I think that it was absolutely fantastic. I loved the cinematography in this. I think the music that they chose was perfect for it.
It was very interesting to see this film and learn more about dinos, but not just about dinos, also learning about the history behind these men that gave pretty much all his life to dinos, and how these men and the filmmaker casually ended up together and decided to make this film. There's a great usage of B-roll and a mix between interviews, B-rolls, videos, photos, and data about the dinos. And overall, it was not just educative, not just interesting from a historical point of view, but also very well directed and with an excellent cinematography.